Let's go. So, welcome everyone to this special, very special podcast episode. I am joined here by not just incredible ambassadors for the cause of the Burnt Chef project, but mountain explorers extraordinaire. I'm joined by Mika from the Burnt Chef project, Greg, who's from Baxter Story, Ginny. I don't know where you're from, Ginny. Where are you from?
Uh, I'm originally from Lithuania, but I live in Minehead for the last 10 years now.
Oh, not too far away from me then.
Oh, great. I should
Good.
visit you more.
Yes, come down to the head office. I mean, it's not as impressive as you might think, but you're welcome to. Dave from Green King.
Green King, yeah.
Good, thank you. Ben.
Yeah, I'm currently Gunpowder Restaurant or HB so I've only been here for 2 weeks now.
Good.
Um, so
Congratulations.
thank you.
Good. And Mr. Joe Bentley as well, the Mountain King. How's it going, sir?
Good. Knees are a bit shot to pieces, but I'm good.
Good stuff. Good. You've had quite a few adventures, so I'm looking forward to digging into those as well. So, this episode is to really wrap up and to talk about your absolutely incredible fundraising experience that you all took part in. There are a few missing today as well, but we're going to try and get as much experience, as much of the feedback, both before going into this incredible fundraising challenge, summiting Kilimanjaro back in September now, right?
Yeah.
A little while ago. So Mika, do you want to take it from the top? I mean, this was your little brainchild. This is your baby. Why on earth Kilimanjaro in the first place?
Well, I love an adventure. It was something I always wanted to do, and the idea was actually presented to me by one of our ambassadors, Kev Wiper, up in Scotland, who unfortunately couldn't make the trip with us in the end. But that's where it all started, was a conversation about what we could do to push our limits, to take ourselves out of our comfort zones, but then also on the back of it, raise awareness for the Burnt Chef project and raise, the vital funds that we need to keep doing the work that we're doing in the industry. And so that's how it all started and then grew into this incredible trail family of 9 people who now have this unbelievable sort of connection and bond that we'll have for the rest of our lives. And it's also it's almost hard to put into words sometimes what we experienced on the mountain, before, after, and all of that. But we're going to try our best to describe it to everybody today. There was highs, massive lows. There was laughter. There was tears. There was every range of emotions on this mountain. And in the end, we ended up 9 completely different people than who we were when we started. And I can say for myself, it was an experience like no other, once in a lifetime, life-changing thing, and I think everybody else feels the same way too. So yeah, I just love to hear. I've wanted to talk to you guys about this for so long, and every time I see you guys and every time we get to chat, it weirdly feels like coming home, like talking to part of my family, and it's so special to me. So thanks for taking the time to do this with us today, guys. So yeah, I mean, let's talk about the lead up to it first. I think let's see, Greg, what made you initially want to do this with us, and what was the prep like for you?
I think first of all, I just wanted to echo what you said. I think those 9 strangers become somehow connected. Um, we managed to stay really pretty tight group, and I think I see you as a part of my extended family, all of you, and you always going to be somewhere around that, and I think the experience make me better person as a whole. The reason why I've done it, first of all, obviously highlight the importance of mental health stigma around the hospitality, challenge myself. I love good challenge, and I think it's important to challenge yourself, and like you said, make yourself uncomfortable to make you comfortable, to make yourself comfortable after all. So I'm actually at the end of it a better person, I think.
Yeah.
And like experience as a whole mind-blowing. I would recommend to anybody to get involved in some sort of fundraising, because I think it's a good bag in raising funds and supporting the tremendous work that the Berkshire Project does.
Absolutely. And what did you think was the hardest part of the whole experience for you?
You know, with me, there was two parts to that. The first aspect was assimilating myself within the group, in the group, and and also feeling kind of claustrophobic, especially on the second day.
Mm-hmm.
When we reached Shiratu, the conditions were pretty poor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mountaineer, you know what I mean. I'm 44-year-old, average chap that fancy do something special, let's say. So I find myself in tent with Tom, which I met 48 hours before, and I'm just looking at him and thinking, which way this gonna go? You know, which way this gonna go? So yes, that was mind blowing first, but after you know, I suppose I compose myself, put myself back together, as we always on a daily basis we do this at the within the hospitality, facing all of those random awkward moments, and we just need to stay resilient. So I put myself together. So that was the kind of hard moment. And the summit day, I can imagine for all of us, the summit day was particularly tough in different ways, I suppose. But I think after 5,000 meters, I was seriously considering quitting.
Yeah.
In terms of, it's like, do you know what? Yeah, it's a slog. Now I'm out of breath a bit. I'm going slowly, but this doesn't help. But then I have to put that aside, and again just storm through, I suppose.
Absolutely. I don't think there's anybody on this call or anybody who ever climbed Kilimanjaro who thought it was easy at the end. And you have to find those ways to persevere and dig deep and find that resilience within yourself. And you mentioned Tom, and he actually wrote in and he said something close to you in that we started as 9 complete strangers and then ended up, you know, this little family, and how much more difficult it would have been without that support, you know, with each other and for each other. And you know, it for me at least, I know it really helped me get through, because there was times when I thought about quitting, especially on summit night, when you just thought, man, there's no chance. We've been going for hours and hours and hours. The sun's not coming up. What is going on here? But it was really a collective effort that got us all up the mountain in the end, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You know, you could feel almost that special bond, and also that almost like an aura around us. You know what I mean? We've been half a meter, 1 meter from each other for 9 days.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This create that sort of environment, I suppose. And like I said, we stuck together. You know what I mean? For 9 strangers with different, I suppose, the physical abilities and the different age, to kind of crack on, and all of the 9 of us reached the summit, which is rare from what I heard. You know, I'm not the expert, obviously, but also in the time that we did that, and that just proved how resilient we are in the hospitality sector. As a
Absolutely.
in this industry, sometimes it's really tough, and I think we just proved how resilient we can be.
Definitely. And I thought it was really cool that the group of, like you said, strangers, people from different backgrounds, is kind of a, you know, the way hospitality is. You know, I'm from America, you're Polish, Ginny's from Lithuania, right, Ginny?
Yes.
Yeah, Ben's from New Zealand, and it's very much like hospitality. You kind of get these people from all around the world coming together, and you end up being so close, and you forget how different you are because you're all kind of, you know, trying to achieve the same goals. Ben, I'd like to ask you about your experience and what surprised you most about it. What surprised you about yourself and the climb and everybody else that was out there?
Yeah, I suppose the most surprising element of it was the amount of downtime that we had. I think I went into it expecting to literally be walking from morning to night. And there was, thankfully, quite a bit of acclimatization time. And that, again, sort of reiterating what you and Greg have said, it gave us that time to get to know each other, which was good. And surprising for myself, I suppose getting through it, really. Like it was challenging, as some of the others of you guys have said already. And I suppose getting out of the comfort zone, not just of physically climbing a mountain, but of I suppose there was this anxiety of meeting other people who I didn't know, and I think Greg touched on it, of am I going to get along with these people? And then when we do have this, like, okay, you got all afternoon, it's like, okay, now I got to chat to people I don't know what we're going to talk about. But I suppose it surprised me how easy it was that we all kind of got into that. It just was quite easy. Even from the first sort of meeting you and Sam at the airport, and sort of we had that little initial bond of the flight together, which I think some of the others had on a shared flight, and then it could have easily become these little groups of flight buddies. But there was none of that, and it was even from day one we all kind of thankfully got together, and it wasn't nobody was left out. There wasn't really any awkwardness, and so I know for me, probably having a bit of social anxiety and letting the walls down kind of thing, it was easy, and that probably was something that surprised me quite a bit about myself.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I'm one of those people who I get nervous in social situations, and I actually get my energy from alone time. And I was nervous going into this because Greg said earlier, you're within a few meters of somebody for the entire time. When you're going to the bathroom, somebody's a few feet away from you, like you're not escaping this group of people. And I was so happy the moment I met you and Sam in the airport. I was like, this is going to be fine, And then we met everybody else at the hotel, and there's that initial kind of nervousness, but that just melted away so quickly. And the amount of hours we spent in the tent. I mean, how many hours of Shithead was played? There was a lot of downtime, but that was just as important as the rest of it. And Summit Night, let's talk about Summit Night again, because of course that stands out in our
Mhm.
minds so much. What was going through your minds during Summit Night?
Um, a lot. um, and again, it wasn't even just the summit night, but the leading up to it. So we got to that high camp quite early, and you had that whole day of rest and preparation of summit night. Um, and there was that mix of excitement, of anticipation, of nervousness, and of course, carrying helicopters of
Yeah.
people not knowing quite what happened with them. But
Mhm.
um, so I suppose that all in the build up, and as little sleep as can get, to prepare for it.
Mhm.
Um, but then, yeah, I suppose getting up at, I can't, what was it, 1 in the morning or whatever it was, and starting to slog up the mountain. And it was hard, as Greg said, as you said, I think, felt like forever for the sun to come up.
Mhm.
Um, and it was one foot in front of the other, just trying to get through it. But there was this amazing net of, I think all of us had struggle at a point, but nobody thankfully kind of had it at the same time, and being able to support each other through it, through this bond that we'd made over the previous days. Um, and trying, okay, you know what, I'm supporting, you can do it. Come on, keep going. Let's have a break in a minute. And then when you were having that down bit, that person or somebody else saying, hey, Ben, you know what, it's okay, power through. Here, have some Haribo, whatever, to get that little boost. And then I can remember when the sun did come up and taking a couple of photos of it, and it did sort of give that bit of a boost to not be just one foot in front of the other in the darkness and looking up at a shadow of a mountain and seeing lights far away and oh, how many hours to go.
Yeah.
But getting the boost of the sunlight was just incredible, and looking back and seeing how far we'd come. And yes, there was still, and a long way to go.
Mhm.
Uh, and then sort of getting to the first, not the summit bit, but I can't remember what it was called. That first bit, and I was like, okay, and you were still got the rest to go to get to the actual summit. So it was like that false dawn of Oh, but the singing of the guide sort of keeping spirits boosted as much as possible, and then the euphoria of being at the top. And like we made it, and as Greg said, like actually all nine of us made it to the top. We all did it as a team, all together. And I know we all sort of jumping, hugging, high fiving, and it was an incredible experience.
Absolutely. And you briefly touched on the porters there and their singing and everything. And for as much as we supported each other, the porters played, just equally as big a part of that. They were absolutely incredible. Do you have any sort of special memories about something that they did to support you along the way on Summit Night?
I think as touched on, the singing was just, I don't know how it was hard enough to walk up that mountain, but let alone to be singing the whole way. And they were there to, you know what, if you needed a minute, they would be there next to you and help you. If they needed help carrying a bag for a bit, they would help. Um, to sort of that encouragement, okay, just keep going to this next bit and we're going to take a break. But to me, the singing for hours on end just kept this beat going to keep you going through it. And sort of I had no idea what the words were, but they sort of got in my head and I kept singing them as well. And it just helped to, I suppose, set the rhythm of one foot in front of the other and getting up that mountain. As I say, especially when it was dark before dawn. And it was, you kind of, whatever, you could see the backpack of the person in front of you. And if you looked up, you saw lights miles up. And that was quite hard. But just the songs from these porters in their native language was incredible.
Absolutely. I know that we all left the mountain with an unbelievable level of respect for those people and what they do and how much they supported us along the way. We couldn't speak more highly of them as people. Honestly, they're incredible. So, I mean, the reason we all did this was, to support the Burnt Chef Project, and it draws, this experience climbing that mountain and everything draw so many parallels between what we do in hospitality. Joe, I'd like to ask you a bit about that because you know it very well, how physically, emotionally demanding and all of, our jobs are. So what do you think the parallels there are between hospitality and Killy?
Well, they both drive you to the edge of your limits, that's for sure, at
Mhm.
times. I actually lost my sous chef over Christmas to a broken ankle on a mountain in Lake District, and it kind of resonated with me how close they are as an industry and as a hobby, because we were driven right to the limit at the top of that mountain because we had 60-mile-an-hour winds blowing on us, and it was the same on Killy. There were points where, like that second night when it was freezing, but it had been raining up to getting to that point. You just thought, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do this. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to keep pushing if it's like this every single night. And it's kind of like service at work. It's just like, you just got pushed to get to that last bit and then it's over. And then you can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it. The chefs all know once you get to the end of a decent service, you enjoy it, don't you? You might be pain and horrible at the time, but when it's over, you look back on it and you congratulate each other over it. And it's very much the same as Killy. It's a physical determination to get there. And that is why I think all of us summited, because we're all from a background where it doesn't really matter what happens, we need to get it done. If you all agree. You go to work, sicknesses and stuff. We all have this just ingrained in his head that we will get to the end of the day. And from the start of Killy, I got really bad altitude sickness. I don't, if you remember, on day 3, I think it was, when we went up to Lava Tower. I was really, really poorly, and I was absolutely gutted because I wanted to climb Lava Tower. And at that point, I had so many doubts in my head that I wouldn't be able to do it, which I've never had before. I can usually drive myself through anything, but it felt like my body were failing me. And the drive to go again, I wasn't sure I was going to have it. But then we dropped and my headache ceased and I saw the Barranco wall and it was just beautiful, wasn't it? With the clouds coming in from down the bottom and all of a sudden there were a cloud inversion. It was like, how could I ever give up on day 3 when I can keep going and see more of this? And I think that's very similar to working in the restaurant and hospitality industry, because it can be beautiful if you make it beautiful and you see the positives in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really admired on the mountain and before and after and everything. You've been so open about your experience with it, and I felt like you were very vulnerable, which I thought was amazing to see. You know, like when you were down and out or you were struggling, you were very open about it. You were never ashamed about saying, "Hey, I need help," or "I'm struggling right now." Can you tell us a little bit about that, like why it's okay to ask for help and what that felt like?
Well, I, like a lot of other chefs, have massively suffered from depression, massively. I lost my dad as a kid to it, to suicide. So it was, it, as an adult, I'd bottled it up. I'd learned to bottle it up until I hit 30, and then I exploded, and it almost killed me off. So I've seen both sides of the coin. I can see why people bottle it up. I understand why people bottle it up, but I also now know that that's not the answer. It don't get you anywhere. It actually makes it worse because you end up fighting a battle on your own. So if a problem shared is a problem halved, in my opinion, and it don't make you weak. It makes you honest. Asking for help. It don't just help you, but it helps other people because they know you need the help. They can't see what's wrong with you sometimes, people that are close to you.
Mhm.
The people don't know until you open up. So for me, the most important thing about depression and poor mental health is opening up,
Mhm.
because then you can find an answer as a team rather than doing it on your own.
Definitely. And would you say that doing something like this is good for people that struggle with those sort of things?
100%, absolutely 100%. When I signed up, I was on my way back down again in my head. I'd overcome depression, but I was at a stage in my life where I was really overweight. I smoked too many cigarettes. I lived off energy drinks, and I needed something. I needed a challenge. I needed a focus, and I've spent the last year and a half bettering myself because I signed up to this. And my mental health has probably never been as strong as it is right now.
Mhm.
And I've never been as open about my mental health as I am right now.
Mhm.
And I know firsthand that it's helped people in my kitchen, because I've got a chef at the moment that's really struggling,
Mhm.
but he knows that I know what he's going through because I've shared with him my story, and we're on the road now to getting him better, and it's all part and parcel of opening up. So yeah.
That's awesome. That vulnerability and that ability to speak out and share stories with it, it's just so powerful in what we're trying to do here. And another thing I wanted to talk to you about, because you had quite a unique case here, was that you've fundraised like crazy for this. It was amazing to see the different ways that you were able to raise money, and you were able to raise so much that it paid for your place. So can you tell us about, for people who want to join us on future treks but might think that it's a bit too expensive, can you tell us a bit about what you did to fundraise enough to pay for your trip?
Yeah. First off, I was really lucky, to be completely honest. Before I even signed up or thought about seriously doing it, I went to the managing director of my hotel. I work for a hotel chain that's only a really small chain, and I have quite a close relationship with him. And I asked for backing, and he pledged £2,000 straight on the off. So that initially paid for the deposit for the trip,
Mhm.
which meant then I could focus on it. I remember actually initially having a conversation with you and asking you about it, and you were like, just make sure you save some money because I don't think you'll be able to raise that much. I think we've got it
Did I say that? Jesus.
in a chat on Discord. We've got somewhere it says something along the lines of just make sure you save some alongside it so that you're not short. And in my back of my head, I never wanted to. I always wanted to raise that money, because not even so that I didn't have to pay anything, just so I could give more to the cause, because obviously half and half,
Yeah.
the more I raise, the more goes to the cause. But other than that, it were getting my name out there with people. So I got them to put signs in the reception, because anybody that comes into the building are entering a hospitality sector, and the service they're getting, they can see who they're giving the money to. So Instagram's great. It did get me some funding, but I would say I got most because all the regulars at my hotel then knew what I was doing in the kitchen. Because as a chef, you don't see them that often. But I have regular customers in our hotel come and work every week. They all donated because they've seen me go out to the bar to get a coffee, and they know who they're donating it to because they've seen my photo now on the wall. So I just try and put it in people's faces if you're trying to raise money, because it is doable and people are generous, especially in our industry.
Definitely. And it resonates with people because everybody goes to hospitality venues, everybody sees what we're dealing with and appreciates it, so thanks for sharing that. That's really great. So more on why it was important to raise funds and impact it had for not only us but our community as well. Dave, why you could have done Kilimanjaro on your own. I know you and Soph are big explorers and adventurers. Why did you want to do it with Burnt Chef?
So for me and for Sophie, so similar to Joe, back in 2019 or so, I was severely down. I realized that there was a little issue within myself. Sophie realized there was an issue within myself, and I was always brought up to hold that back. And I worked in hospitality where it was one of those things where that's just the way it is. That is just the way it is. Like, you just crack on, you get through to the end of the day, and so on and so forth. So doing it for a cause like the Burnt Chef Project, it was really important that we did it to raise the awareness. And those funds that came in, like, I don't understand. I can't understand why people ever think about not donating to worthy causes like this, because you can't put a price on your team member's life. So, yeah, raising that sort of raising the awareness of the Burnt Chef Project is more important for me. The funding that came alongside it was, that's just part and parcel as far as I was concerned. But getting away from this stigma and helping to build a change within the hospitality industry where people are no longer just going, well, that's just the way it is. You work in hospitality, just get over it. Or what I used to get when I was an apprentice, just man up. It's like, we're doing, 16-hour weeks as an apprentice chef, or 16-hour days, sorry, as an apprentice chef. And they're telling you to man up, and you're like, this is not the way to go forward. So the Burnt Chef Project. So there was a guy who I met in 2020 who supported me. He was called Ollie. He was over in Hereford, and he was supporting the Burnt Chef Project. And me and Ollie got on like a house on fire. I didn't work for him. He just ran a restaurant. I really loved the food that he would make. So every now and then I'd go in and we'd literally just sit down, and he'd stop working and we'd go and have a chat. And it was the Burnt Chef Project that kind of got him into that sort of mindset that actually there's going to be people in the industry that aren't working for you as well. So for me, breaking down that and building that culture where actually even like the big corporates all the way down to the little people now are seeing that there is a problem. So anything that I could do to try and raise the awareness for that was key to what we wanted to do.
You're right. There still is, we're out there, we're trying, the Burnt Chef Project has been trying for nearly 7 years not to shift that stigma, to change the conversations, but it's still a struggle, and it's amazing that we're out there and we're sending this strong message of hope and resilience and everything to the people in the industry. And what do you want that message to be? Like when you see other people who watch us do this climb, what do you hope they're seeing? What do you hope that message is to them?
I think so. The message that I really want them to take away from it is, I think you perfectly summed it up in your blog straight afterwards, which was that it's okay to ask for help and assistance. That is where we have always been falling down in the hospitality industry. We have had that stigma. We have had that man up grow some, get on with the job sort of thing. So for me, the biggest message would be it's okay to ask for help.
Absolutely. That is the key message, I think, in all of this, because every single one of us on that mountain asked for help at some point. Like I said before, there wasn't any single person who just bolted up. But I gotta say, on summit night, Jesus Christ, you and Sophie, you lost that mountain. I think of everybody, you guys were incredible, and we had a unique thing. We had a married couple. What was it like doing it with Sophie, with your wife?
Well, she's probably going to see this, so I better keep it. So I think so. Yeah, we've talked about the bonds that everyone created. Like I was lucky enough to have gone into that with like the bond with my wife already. You say that we bossed up on Summit night, but we were playing against each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we had that. Oh no, we're both really competitive. So I know Sophie told me afterwards she did a short stint in hospitality, and when she was there, my general manager at the time, he had this JFDI, and that was just going through her head, and I could just feel that behind me when she's looking at my feet. just keep going. So yeah, doing it with Sophie, like it also meant that we got to the end of the day and we were able to decompress with everybody, but we were actually able to have that decompression with each other. So I struggle to meet new people and be open to new people. Sophie, she doesn't. You know what I mean? Like she's straight in there. She doesn't. Like she's really easy with that. So having her alongside helped me over those first few days of trying to get to know people, because I knew that I had her there. She would just leave me and go off and chat to someone else. But it was putting me in an uncomfortable position to have to go talk, which then helped with Summit Day as well. So she wasn't just looking at me, was she? She was looking around at everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked a lot, during it and after it and everything. We talked a lot about our comfort zones and pushing ourselves out of our comfort zones. And I know when we reached the top, I was so emotional. I know you were, as I know you said you shed some tears when we finally summited as well. And it was so funny that the porters were like, no crying, no wasting energy. Everybody get down the mountain, no tears. But it was emotional, wasn't it? I was completely out of my comfort zone. What was that moment like for you?
Well, I will honestly say that when I hugged everybody, I was crying every single time. And then the tears would stop, but then I'd hug somebody else, so they'd start again. And then, yeah, so don't waste your energy on tears. It's just like, yeah, we're going to have to. It's like, it's just who we are. It's like what we've done. Like, for them, it's just an everyday thing, isn't it? It's like, don't waste your energy on tears. It's like, I'm sure the first day that they ever did it, they probably went, oh, like so we're having that moment then. Yeah, I mean, getting to the top and everybody getting up there, it was just an unbelievable feeling.
Absolutely.
I don't think I'm ever going to feel that feeling again. Right?
Well, we do Everest Base Camp.
Yeah, but even then, we already know each other now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So that's going to be a slightly different experience. So, but yeah, I mean, just the fact we all made up there, just so emotional. Like every single person, that hug that I gave at the end to I'm a hugger. Like, everyone says I'm a hugger. But not many people get a hug, with tears rolling down their back from me. So everyone should feel happy about
that. Yeah. No, I don't think there was a dry eye up at the top until we started the descent, which was absolutely disgusting.
And then there were other tears. Yeah.
Yeah, there was different kind of tears going down. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Ginny, tent mate, hello. So we've been talking about going up. What was it like for you? What changed in you physically, mentally, emotionally during that going up journey? And then we'll talk about what it was like coming down, because I think we often overlook what it feels like afterwards. You kind of crash afterwards. But what was it like going up? What changed in you going up?
So let's mention it was out of my comfort zone to meet 9 strangers. I'm very antisocial. I cannot even make a conversation first. I will be like very antisocial. I was like, what is gonna be there? Like, I never met these people, but something inside said like, it's gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. Just go and do it. And when I met all of you, you were like, you're cool. I will be fine. And obviously going up, that moment, which I share with everyone, that moment when I couldn't push through, I couldn't make a step, and my brain knows I can make a step, but my whole body refuses. And having you realizing that this is a break point for me, and then having the porter staying with me, giving this break to chill out, to get myself collected again and keep going. And when I saw you after like an hour or so sitting there chilling, I was like, okay, we're gonna make it this now. And yeah, reaching the summit, hugging, seeing everyone happy, I was like, well, that's great. When I started going down, I was like, what is this going down? I was like, I'm gonna break my neck here, not trying to climb the top.
Yeah.
And when we back to Bay High Camp, I was like, start feeling down. It's like, oh, what now? Like, what is this? And it took me like a good 2 days to realize that I did something incredible, and it's okay to feel down afterwards, because that endorphins, those happy hormones, you just burnt out because you use them all on the top. And then now those happy moments come back, and they like even stronger than before.
Yeah.
But yes, I had very, very down moment when I came back to work. Nothing felt the same. People ask about experience, and I don't know where to start, because I'm like, I'm sad. I want to go back. I want to be in a tent. I want to have no connection. I want to eat those packed pasta in there. I don't care. It just never felt the same. And when I accepted the fact that it was experience, it changed me, and it's okay to change, because now I have room for growing up and becoming a slightly better person of myself that I was before. So that was incredible.
You're so right. I experienced the very same thing. You're on just such a high, then you come back and you feel a bit lost. Like, wait, everyone's, saying this is a once in a lifetime experience. And if it's a once in a lifetime experience, what am I supposed to do now? Like what other experiences are there? And you do get this crash. And then I think you're so focused on summiting, and it's, you've just got tunnel vision on summit night, and this is the most important thing. And then I know when I came back about a week later, I pulled out all of my photos and I looked through everything, and it was all the tiny moments, being in the tent and the laughter and all of that. And I started crying, and I was like, that's, what, that was what it was about the entire time. Was it ever about reaching the summit? Yeah, partially, but really it was about all the connections and all of those tiny moments along the way. That's what you take away from it. But yeah, it's difficult to see that at the time, right? Like, because you're just tunnel vision trying to get up that mountain. But how did you feel after? So, like, as in, we all pushed ourselves to the absolute limit. Have your limits changed now? How do you feel about yourself?
Now I think everything is possible. I always had in my head this word impossible, and my scuba diving instructor years ago said, if you're gonna tell impossible, think about it. It's like, I am possible. We set our limits. We tell ourselves we cannot do it, but with training, with dedication, we can do incredible things. And that just proves I wasn't the fittest person ever, but I always wanted to do something, and I pushed through the limit. And I had a moment that I couldn't do it, but then there was people around me who helped me to push through that. It's okay, you got this. Like, be here, we in this together, so we're fine. We're gonna get this through. And yeah, now it's more like, maybe I cannot take another 100 steps, but surely I can do one more step closer to the goal. And that's how I push through the limits right now. Take the pause and take that one step, and I know I will get there eventually.
That's awesome, Jenny. I love that. I love that I am possible instead of impossible. That's so cool. And we shared a tent together. And I remember, one day I would wake up and I'd be like, you know what? I fucking quit. I don't want to do this anymore. And then the next day you would wake up and be like, I'm done. I hate this. Let's go home. And we went back and forth so many times, but in the end it was that mutual drive. And you know, you would be like, no, 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 Mika, we're not quitting. Let's just get out of the tent. We've got to start today. And then I'd do the same thing for you the next day. And it was just that, you know, we had to lean on each other so much to get through this. We just wouldn't have been able to do it without each other. And just one more thing, you know, all of these amazing lessons that you learned and the extent of your limits and all of that now, um, in hospitality, how does that change the way that you face your job now?
Um, I try to take this step back, the break that I need to think through it, because nothing is important as it seems. Like nothing is that big deal like it seems and it feels for me, because that's my perspective. And once I remove myself, I can see that, you know, actually it is not that big deal. And it comes back to the same thing. Just ask for help. Just say you need help. You don't know how to do this. And it's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So I try to do that more.
For sure.
It's a learning process.
Yeah,
learning in
absolutely.
process.
So totally, I start to feel myself slipping and maybe try to play a victim or something, and then I go, you know what? I climbed Kilimanjaro, and you know, like, is there anything more difficult than that? And you know, it pops up into my head so often. Like, I know I can now. You know, I know that I have the strength within me to be able to do whatever now, and it's stripped away so much fear and you know trepidation out of my life, and I'm just so grateful for that.
I remember on the summit day, you even told me to give my backpack because I was that stubborn. I didn't want it to give up. I was holding on that backpack that my life depends on it. I was like, Mika, you told me like, Ginny, just give that back. Just give it. It's fine. It's okay. I was like, no, I can do it.
I know.
And
I know.
that is incredible because sometimes you need someone just, you know, just get over it. Like, it's not that big deal.
Absolutely. I mean, I was the same way. You know, you almost feel like you're failing or something when you have to ask for help initially, and then you let it go and you release that, and you're like, why didn't I just accept that help earlier? You know, what am I trying to do here? We're just trying to get through this together. I don't need to prove anything to anybody that this is just for me. And then when you accept that help and you let that vulnerability show, you realize that's what it's all about. You know, that's the way forward, and that's how you achieve, and that's how you succeed in life in every way. So amazing. Thanks for that, Jenny. Guys, what's next? What are we doing next?
You tell us, Mika.
Well,
we up for anything now.
Yeah, no, I know. See, this is what I mean. No, we're not scared of anything anymore. We're already ready for the next challenge. And I mean, I just think it's incredible that if nine of us can create this much impact, can create, you know, raise this much funds, can have such a life-changing experience. Like, let's keep that going. Let's keep that momentum going. I want to share this with everyone. I want everyone to have this feeling that we have. I want everyone to experience this with us. I want there to be 50 of us climbing Everest Base Camp together in May of 2027, which we are soon to launch. And yeah, honestly, I just love you guys so much, and I think this has been so cool. And I just want to open it up now because I want to hear more of your stories. Like, let's reminisce and let's laugh about things that happened. Because I feel like we didn't get through everything there. Is there anything else that you guys really remember that you wanna talk about?
Something we haven't touched on or we haven't touched on a lot is Sam.
Yeah.
Like that lad, like for us, we're all here, veterans of hospitality. We've all been through it, we've all seen it. And then you've got Sam coming in at such a young age and recognizing that there's a problem already. And just, you know, flying down from Scotland all by himself, staying overnight, getting on that plane. That he was so inspirational. And to do it basically barefoot, as he would like us all to believe. Yeah, he was just so inspirational to have somebody that, I say that young because he made me feel really old, but to have somebody of his generation coming through already working in the hospitality industry and trying to raise awareness for this cause, yeah, hats off to hats off to the lad.
Absolutely. I remember when he was on the flight with me and Ben, and I was talking to Ben before we left, and I was like, the other guy who's coming with us was born in 19, or no, when was he born? 2004.
2000.
And I was like, what
What?
is that? And there's somebody born in the 2000s on our trip? Like, what are
Who's
they
the
doing
baby
here?
carrier?
Right.
Like, this is like a midlife crisis sort of activity, not for somebody who's 21 years old, you know? But
Yeah.
he was just incredible, and he was just so positive and lighthearted the entire way up, wasn't he?
Yeah. Little mosquito man.
Yeah, for sure. Chris, you've been quiet this whole time. Talk to us.
I'm in awe. I'm so proud of all of you for doing this, and I'm a little bit. I'm gonna admit I'm envious. I'm envious for bowing out of this one and allowing someone, um, well, not even allowing Mika to experience it on her own. I'm just envious of the fact that you all got that opportunity, and then there's something that I think I would have benefited from personally in terms of pushing my comfort zones and building, but also getting a chance to be there, part of that journey with you all as well. So, definitely gonna take that for note for any future challenge. The Challenge Mika series, I think we might affectionately call it. If Mika can do it, then so can everyone else. Next trip is to space. Let's
Yeah,
fucking go.
absolutely.
I'm just look. We haven't mentioned the fundraising total, which Mika, have you got the up-to-date amount that these incredible human beings have raised for the project?
Yeah, it was just shy of £25,000 in the end, which
Which
is
is
crazy. From nine of us, to do that, it's one of our biggest fundraisers to date. And I mean, what that money means to us, what that money means to the industry, to get people access to free therapy, to free support, to free training, all of that. You guys, you guys have saved people's lives by doing this trek. Like, I say that with my whole heart, and I know it comes from Chris as well. You guys have saved people's lives. You've given people life-saving access to support resources. So we can't thank you enough. And that's why I said, like, let's do this again. Let's get more people involved. We want this whole, I mean, we were all UK based on this last one. I want to see people from America, Canada, Australia, all through Europe. I want to get a huge number up Everest Base Camp. I want to take one of our inflatable elephants and blow it up and represent Burnt Chef projects and just have this huge moment with all of you guys again.
it won't be in Facebook. It's going to be solid granite.
Oh,
Um,
perfect. Yeah, no
so,
worries. Yeah. Yes.
but there was something that you
That
touched
we're gonna
upon.
have to take up ourselves to Everest
Yeah.
Base Camp.
We can all carry a little bit.
Yeah, all carry, and then you have to assemble it at the top in record time. But I think, Mika, you have the valuable insight. I mean, we publish a lot of stats and research with universities on things like imposter syndrome and burnout, and we're doing one on gambling harm. Like, there's a lot of numbers and percentages flying around when it comes to the work that we do and the people that we support. But when you and I first met, you were working in a hotel in Bournemouth, and we didn't know each other. We were introduced by a mutual friend. To what you know about the project now and some of the stories that we hear from people, like, can you put into context exactly how this money is helping people? Are there any stories that spring to mind from you in the last 2 years that you've been working with me?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my own personal story is what I'll start with. When I met Chris, I was at full burnout. I was leaving the industry and I didn't know the Burnt Chef Project existed. I didn't know that people were allowed to ask for help or have access to resources like this. So for me personally, I like to say, that the Burnt Chef Project saved my life. It connected me with people who were going through the same thing as me. That I didn't know that other people were dealing with things like I was. I didn't know that it was okay to not be okay. And the Burnt Chef Project guided me through that and gave me the opportunity to do stuff like this and raise awareness and all of that. So it's completely changed my life personally. But I mean, I have dozens of stories of people who reach out to us who say, I was in a horrible place. I was considering taking my life, and I reached out to the Burnt Chef, and I got to speak to a human being. I got to get that support that I was so desperate for. I mean, we hear these stories every single day, and this is the exact kind of impact that we're driving, that you guys are driving by doing all of this and raising this awareness.
Thank you. And we see we're fortunate enough to see it firsthand as well. You know, even like, was it last week or the week before, we were in Isle of Wight doing a fundraiser with Eat Street there, and you know, the people who came up after the event who weren't from hospitality. You know, you had finance advisors, you had property developers, and they would come up to us and they would hug us or shake our hands and go, thank you. Like, I needed to hear that an organization like you exists, and I know you're not for me, but you know, it's inspired me to think about this or to go and get help. And it's really powerful. It's showing that this work that we do, hospitality, the profession that is all encompassing, is actually starting to lead the way to other individuals from different sectors and different backgrounds. And they're going, wow, you know, this is incredible. And it's through the awareness that you guys are building, it's through the fundraising activities, it's through telling our stories, and also having the signposting resources and the professional resources to back that up and to be able to give people that help. It's, yeah, it's, without you we wouldn't be able to do this. And to you guys, to everyone listening to this, to everyone who shared their story, to who's bought a wristband, who's, you know, been in a college when we've spoken, who's been part of the research, every single human being who's been part of this has allowed us to continue to, and will continue to grow and to support other people. So you've mentioned the next Challenge Mika episode, i.e. base camp in Everest. So where should people keep an eye out to look out for that epic adventure?
Well, we will be creating the page on our website with all of the information, dates, prices. We're going to set it up similar like we did to Kilimanjaro, where you can fundraise to cover the cost of your place. There are also payment plans available that you can spread it out. So it's not till next May, so there's lots of time to get ready for this. We're going to be using 360 Expeditions again, which were just incredible. These guys are absolutely amazing. Our special shout out to Rolf, who was our guide on the last one. He was hilarious, and I think we all just loved him so much. So keep an eye out on there. We'll be posting on socials as well. And if you want to reach out to me and ask questions or anything, I'm more than happy to share my experiences and answer questions that you have. If you use the website on our contact page, you'll get through to me. So please do reach out. And like I said, I want to see as many people as possible as we can on the next one.
Thank you ever so much. And then just to finish off with, I'd like a very short sentence in 10 words or less, and you don't have to count them. If you're over, on what you would say to someone who's previously, like myself, who's sat on the sidelines and thought, oh, maybe that challenge isn't just, no, that's not for me. I can't do that. What would you say? So one at a time. We'll start with you, Greg. What would you say to someone who's sat on the sidelines thinking that they couldn't do this or they should get involved?
I mean, for me, the biggest driver, I think, would be in the world that you can be anything, be kind, and use this as a power of spreading the goodness by what you can do about it. So we know we have problem in our industry. What we can do about it, we can climb the mountain, spread awareness, raise the funds, and use the organization as the Bench project as a vessel to spread the goodness around.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Ben, you're next on my screen.
Yeah, I guess, I suppose the what was it that Dave said before? Getting up the mountain of JFDI.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, like that's what first popped into my head of, yes, it's got to be hard, but you know what? Sign up for it. Use it like I similar to Joe. Like I used it as a springboard to sort of push myself and get into shape and things like that. And the things I got out of it, I couldn't even imagine when I signed up to it. So yeah, just do it.
Just do it. I think that might have been trademarked already, that one,
Yeah.
but we can it's not so good we can put it on a
You need the F
t-shirt.
in there.
Put in the F. I wasn't sure if I could swear on this. So.
Let's fucking go. Ginny.
Yeah. Just try. Just keep trying. Be kind to yourself and just try. If it seems impossible, surely it is possible.
Lovely, thank you. Dave?
For me, it'd be believe in yourself. So I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. And so I really questioned it. I questioned whether I was going to be ready, but having a little bit of belief in yourself that you can get through that day, then the next, then the next. Yeah, believe in yourself.
Keep swimming.
Nicely done, thank you. And last but not least, Mountain King, Joe.
Well, when I started, you all know I was absolutely massive, smoked 26 a day, and I didn't think I could do it either. So mine would be just put your mind to it because you can. It doesn't really matter what's going on in your head. You can do it. Just put your mind to it. You can do anything you put your mind to.
Thank you. And we can't actually leave out Mika. Mika, who hasn't just climbed Kilimanjaro. Since being with the Burnt Chef Project, she has run a marathon. She's about to take on a second marathon. She is challenging herself daily, still dipping in freezing waters in Bournemouth Sea as well. So Mika, what would you say to anyone who's thinking, like myself, as I've been guilty of for the last 2 years, been sat in my comfort zone, my comfy Crocs for a little bit too long. What would you say to inspire someone like me to be able to push their comfort zones and get involved with a challenge like this?
I would say that the only limitations that exist are in your mind. I think if we all went out and did what we're actually capable of, we would absolutely astound ourselves. And life is for the taking. Don't get comfortable. Every single day is a gift. And if it's something that you're curious about, try it. Let's do it together.
Nice. Lovely. Thank you, guys. And a big shout out to those who aren't with us as well on this particular podcast. But thank you for allowing me to sit a little bit voyeurism, like sit on the sidelines and watch this conversation happen. But I feel privileged to have heard the stories and to have spent hours editing the videos as well and getting to see firsthand what you guys have been up to. So thank you ever so much. And yeah, really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks all.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye.